There are some coaches in the NFL that have thought about possibly quarantining their quarterbacks just to make sure that you have a quarterback for opening day. Do you have any plans to do anything like that?
I think we are mindful of that, and I've read that. I've talked to some people. We're going to put a plan in place that we feel really confident in keeping all of our players safe. Obviously, I understand the quarterback position and why people are discussing that, but I feel very strongly that the protocols that they've given us, we've adhered them to a T. And the truth is we've gone past it. We're doing some things in an abundance of caution that we don't even have to do. So, for example, we're going to split the squad next week, and we're going to go with a call it a brown and an orange team. And we're going to have a workout in the morning and a workout in the afternoon. And we're going to do that just to limit the people in the building. We're not going to have in-person meetings until I think August 9th. We're going to just stay virtual. So there's a bunch of things that we're doing past the protocols just because the first 7 to 10 days or 2 weeks are so critical to this per the medical experts that we really want to do everything in our power to make this as safe an environment for our players.
Do you have to be mindful about once you have everybody, coming into the facility more regularly beginning August 9th, your quarterbacks being in the same room together or when they're on the field, keeping them as far apart as possible because, if there is something that happens, you would like to have at least one of those guys for a game or even for practice. I'm sure it would be very difficult to get through practice if you didn't have, your quarterbacks.
Yes, definitely. And for the meeting rooms, for instance, I mean, the quarterbacks in particular are spread out way more than 6 feet. But every position we've done that. I don't really want to single those guys out, which I know we all do. But every position we're taking this very seriously in terms of adhering to the protocol and then going beyond it. But certainly those meeting rooms, we have 4 quarterbacks on our roster. The meeting room that they're in could fit way more than 4 players.
Right, and we're all considering risks, whether we're going back to work or what have you. Have any of your coaches decided to opt out? Have you had any of those conversations with staff?
No, we haven't had. I haven't had anybody opt out and haven't had those conversations.
Do you expect more players to opt out?
I don't know. I can't. I wouldn't speculate, but I respect the decisions.
And how, is there a plan in place to replace some of the guys if that happens organizationally?
Sure. I think, we've talked a lot about contingency plans for everybody at every position, players, coaches, front office. We have a contingency plan for all of us.
You mentioned there's a plan for everybody, a contingency plan. What is the contingency plan for you? Who is the contingency plan for you?
I'm not going to share it, Aditi, but I'll tell you, it doesn't just go down one, it goes down multiple. Just because the worst thing you could do is not have a plan in a year like this. So for every single position, and it's not just the coaching staff, we've really done this throughout our football operation. We've made sure, who's the next man up, right? Next person up. So we have that laid out. We've talked about what your roles, what your duties, what your responsibilities are day to day, because the bottom line is we have to be prepared. The worst thing you could do in a situation like this is not be prepared and start to have those conversations in the moment. So we really made sure we had those conversations in the last few weeks.
With all the precautions you've taken at the facility, have you or are you planning to address your team as far as your expectations away from the facility and what's kind of your message as far as what you expect from them to kind of keep things safe and not bring the virus into the building?
Yeah, it's something we talked. Our first team meeting was Tuesday night. Talked a lot about it, and to me, it's a shared responsibility, and it's something that it's not just one person's responsibility to stay on top of. So, really going to be counting on our veterans to show some good leadership here, and it's a unique time, and I know there's a work-life balance for our players, and I completely understand that, but this is such a unique time, and they have to take care of their teammates. And we talk so much about being a good teammate, and one of the ways you can be a good teammate is when you leave this bubble and go into your own bubble, just making sure that you're making really sound decisions And ultimately, you're taking care of your teammates when you do that, your teammates and your coaches.
You guys aren't in a bubble per se when you leave the building. Like, do you have to talk to your family or have the coaches and players talk to their families about how they need to be responsible just because, how we don't know how the virus gets transmitted or how easily it gets transmitted?
We do, yeah, and it's something all of us are living with, and something that we all have to make good choices, make good decisions. There's, and I've talked a lot with the players about it already, and you just have to do everything in your power to keep yourself and your teammates and their families safe. And it's just, and so that's hard. That's not easy for a lot of families, mine included. But you just have to do it. It's the sacrifice that we're making to make sure that we're keeping everyone else safe.